Okay, so I think that I am ready for now. So let's do this one, which is about the presentation that I've done a few days ago. Okay, so let's start it. The Bolshevik Revolution. What is the Bolshevik Revolution? The Russian Revolution of 1917 was one of the most explosive political events of the 20th century. The violent revolution marked the end of the Romanov dynasty and centuries of Russian imperial rule. During the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, led by leftist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin, seized power and destroyed the tradition of Tsarist rule. Key people: Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin, also called Vladimir Lynch Lenin, he was born on April 22, 1870 in Simbirsk, Russia, and died on January 21, 1924 in Gorky. He was the founder of the Russian Communist Party, the Bolsheviks inspired and leader of the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, and the architect, builder, and the first head of the Soviet state till 1924. He was the founder of the organization known as Comintern, Communist International, and a part who was source of Leninism, the doctrine codified and controlled Greek Karl Marx works by Lenin's successors to form Marxism and Leninism, which became a communist worldview. worldview. Communist worldview. Joseph Stalin. Real name Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin. Real name Georgian Andrew Tudungaashvili, was born on December 18, 1878 in Gorky, Georgia, Russian Empire, and died March 5, 1953 in Moscow, Russia, USSR. He was the Secretary General of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1953 and Premier of the Soviet. Nhớ không? Because some problems that I have to go downstairs for a little bit. So let's start again for Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, real name Georgian Asher Yurasevich, was born on December 18, 1978 in Gori, Georgia. Russian Empire, and died in March 5, 1953 in Moscow in Russia, USSR. He was the Secretary General of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1953 and Premier of the Soviet state from 1941 to 1953. He dictatorially ruled the Soviet Union for the quarter of a century and transformed it into a major world power. Key people: Leon Trotsky. Lev Davidovich Bronstein, better known as Leon Trotsky, was born on November 7, 1879 and died on August 21, 1940. Leon Trotsky was a Russian revolutionary political theorist and politician. Ideologically a communist, he developed a variant of Marxism known as Trotskyism. Trotsky joined the Bolshevik Party a few weeks before the October Revolution and became one of the leaders of the party. Once in government, Trotsky initially held the post of the Commissioner for Foreign Affairs and was involved in the Brest-Litovsk negotiations with Germany as Russia pulled out of World War One. Trotsky was more prominent from March 1919 to January 1925 as leader of the Red Army in the post of Commissioner for Military and Naval Affairs. Trotsky was a vital leading figure in the Red Victory of the Russian Civil War. He was one of the 7 members of the first Politburo. After the rise of Joseph Stalin, Trotsky was removed from his positions and eventually expelled from the Soviet Union in February 1939. He spent the rest of his life in exile and was assassinated in Mexico City by the Soviet NKVD agent. The Kodiak tragedy. On May 30th, 1896, assembly in Moscow occurs during festivities following Nicholas II's coronation as Crown's glory that displays official news will run out. Rushed to the stores to get them, this resulted in the death of over 1,300 people. 1905 Revolution and Bloody Sunday. On January 22, 1905, known as Bloody Sunday, troops and police opened fires on a peaceful demonstration outside the Winter Palace, and it was in St. Petersburg, killing and injuring around 1,000 people. The liberal press blames Nicholas II. On October 30th, 1905, Tsar Nicholas II issues the October Manifesto, promising civil liberties such as freedom of speech and an elected parliament. As a result, restrictions are implemented on the absolute power of Russian monarch, and a de facto constitution, the Fundamental Laws of 1906, is issued. February Revolution. A series of public protests began in Petrograd, which lasted for 8 days and eventually resulted in abolition of the monarchy in Russia. The total number of killed and injured in clashes with the police and government troops in Petrograd is estimated around 1,300 people. March 8, 1917. On International Women's Day, demonstrators and striking workers, many from the women, take to the streets to protest food shortages and the war. 2 days later, the strike, the 2 days later, the strikes spread across Petrograd. On March 15, 1917, Tsar Nicholas II abdicated and removed his son from succession. The following day, Nicholas' brother Mikhail announced his refusal to accept the throne. A provisional government is formed to replace the Tsarist government, with Prince Lvov becoming the leader. June offensive and July days. On July 1st, 1917, Russian Minister of War Alexander Kerensky launches an offensive against Austro-Hungary forces in Galicia. Although the Russian effort is initially successful, the soldiers soon refuse to leave the trenches and fight due to a moral caused by the revolution. Soldiers constantly paid orders and encouraged soldiers to disobey officers. Many soldiers returned home to take part in redistribution of land. The offensive collapsed 4 days later, and Russian troops must respond to the Austrians and Germans' counter-offensive. On July 16 to 20, the July days, a series of spontaneous armed anti-government demonstrations of industrial workers and soldiers began in Petrograd. Lvov resigns as a leader of the provisional government, with Alexander Kerensky taking over and crushing the demonstrations In the same month, the death penalty is reintroduced, and women are granted the right to vote and hold office. Kerensky sues the arrest of Lenin, who goes into hiding. The printing office of the Bolshevik newspaper Pravda, the headquarters of the Bolshevik Central Communists, are raided, with many Bolshevik leaders arrested. The appointed uprising results in Soviets losing their control over the provisional government, signifying the end of the dual power situation. It is seen by many as the point of no return for the peaceful development of the revolution. The Kornilov Affair. The Kornilov Affair. On September 9, 1917, a failed coup by General Kornilov, commander of Russian army, takes place when he orders troops towards Petrograd to counter the retreat of the Bolsheviks. Ramirez Goretsky's presence Kornilov's action as an attempted right-wing coup. While the affair is short-lived, it secures power for the Bolsheviks among the Petrograd's working classes, workers, and soldiers, and crushes the credibility of a coalition provisional government between socialists and liberals due to the Kedas constitutional democrats, and even Kerensky himself being implicated in the affair. October, Little Revolution and the Brest-Litovsk Treaty. The Bolsheviks seized control of Petrograd on November 7, 1917. The Bolsheviks take control of the Winter Palace, the last remaining holdout of the provisional government, on November 8, 1917. The decrees on land proclaiming abolition of the private property and the redistribution of land amongst the peasantry, and peace proposing an immediate withdrawal of Russia from the Soviet War, issued by the new post-Soviet government. Subsequent workers' decrees outlined measures for an 8-hour working day, minimum wage, and the running of factories. The death penalty is abolished once again on November 8, 1917. On March 3, 1918, Russia ends its participation in the First World War. Post-Soviet Russia thus loses one-third of the old empire's population, one-third of its railway network, half its industry, 2/4 of its supplies of iron ore, 9 to 10 of its coal resources, and much of its food supplies. And this is my multimedia piece, um, because it is really small, so I'm gonna make it bigger for you to see it. Because it is really small, so I'm gonna make it bigger for you to see it. And after I show the audience the multimedia piece of the Bolshevik Revolution, so I'm gonna come to an end of the presentation. And then I'm gonna say what I said. Alright, and after that I'm gonna show this slide, which is about the session after the presentation. It is end for the audience to see and to check the word title if it is perfect or not. Okay. So I'm done with the speaking presentation, but I still have a little bit of time. So I'm gonna spend 7 minutes. Yeah, it's all about 7 minutes for the another presentation, which is about the climate change in the climate change presentation. We're gonna find it. Okay, so it is here. So I've already told you guys that this presentation is about the work that I've done in grade 10, but actually it's not pretty much for me. Actually, it's not pretty much for me. Oh, I forgot to show you guys this one. Okay, that's good. Alright, make it like this. It's gonna be better, right? Right, so I'm gonna put it like this. Is it better? That's good. Make it in the front here. Make it bigger like this, and okay, that's good. Okay, so let's start the work. God created for us a beautiful place to live. However, by the time the beautiful place was destroyed by our actions, Albert Einstein said that look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. Our planet, our planet is in trouble. Pretty much everywhere you look today, you hear or see something reminding you that our planet's health is failing. If our planet was a person, it would be about time to buy the burial plot and write out the last will and testament. As everyone knows, we throw a million tons of garbage a day. However, just 32% of them were recycled or reused. Furthermore, millions of forest areas are cut down for building factories or residential areas. And because of human activities such as burning fossil fuels, oil, gas, coal, and other emissions, those factors have extensive impacts to the atmosphere, as to the atmospheres, to the atmosphere, to the atmosphere, to the atmosphere. Those factors have extensive impact to the atmosphere and lead to global warming and pollution. Um, Global warming will probably have influences not only on animals, plants, but also on humans in the future if we continue to destroy the nature. Firstly, the effect on wildlife that is caused by global warming is habitat disruption. Habitat disruptions are often due to changes in temperature and water availability. This affects the native vegetation and the animals that feed on it. Also, wildlife, wildlife's life cycles are shifted because of the greenhouse effect. To illustrate, many birds have altered the timing of a long-hair migratory and reproductive routines to better sign up with the warming climate. Next, global warming will probably have effects on the growth of plants. However, declining plant growth will destroy forests and dramatically change habitats that are necessary for many species to survive. And if conditions get bad enough, forests could produce carbon instead of removing it from the atmosphere, exacerbating the root cause of climate change. Finally, greenhouse effect or alters alters um, alternate alternative alter alters alternative alter. Oh, I have some problem with this word, so let's go to the Oxford dictionary to check it. So alter, right? That's good. So just bring on this one. Alter, 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 alternative, alt, al- alternative, alter, alters. Mm, so for it, effect alters the quality and the quantity of the water. Drinking water, irrigation power plants affected by erratic rainfall and decreased evaporation. The rise of rain leads to flooding more often, and human daily life will be influenced a lot. In addition, more and more diseases will appear and humans' health will be decreased. Also, the pollution has a big effect on destroying our health. For instance, thousands of Cameroon children under 5 years old contract diarrhea and cholera, two of the borne diseases that are leading cause of death because of water pollution. Additionally, crops, beyond trees, and other planets are killed by evolution. Also, 4,000 people were killed in London in 1952 because of this population, and this is one of the terrible events in England. Faced with this concern, what is Canadian government in particular and elsewhere in general doing to cope with this problem? The Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that there will be a federal system in place in Ontario, New Brunswick, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan in 97 in 19 in 2019. In 2019, households will receive a climate action incentive, which will give most families more than they pay under the new system. Funds will also be given to the provinces, cities, schools, hospitals, businesses, and indigenous communities to, for example, help them become more energy efficient and reduce emissions. Helping Canadians save even more money and improve our local economies. Also, Canadian governments are investing in Canadian counties that are on the forefront of clean technologies and are working with provinces, territories, and municipalities to provide Canadians with more clean energy options. In addition to Canada, a number of other countries have invested heavily in renewable energy, including Chile, Netherlands, Ireland, and many European countries have made significant progress in reducing their emissions. Specifically, the population of Netherlands is about 17 million. However, they manufacture 22 million bicycles to combat global warming and pollution. Chile became first South America country to enact a total ban on the commercial use of plastic bags. In Ireland, the sales of cars using fossil fuels is to be banned by 2030. 2030. Each government of each country is putting an abundance of effort in these problems. So what can we, the average citizen, do to for the environment? Do to add the environment? Firstly, we can use energy wisely. Maybe you don't know, Canada is the top per capita energy consumer in the world. By becoming more energy efficient, you not only pollute less but save money too. And the second one is green your community. You can do that by taking public transit, ride a bike, or advocate for bike plans in your community, etc. Third, you can focus on life, sim simple pleasures, spending time in nature, being with loved ones, making a difference to others, provides more purpose, belonging, and happiness than buying and consuming. Sharing, making, fixing, upcycling, repurposing, and consumptions and composting are all good places to start. And you know what? There are lots of groups in Canada, such as Greenpeace, Living Ocean Society, David Suzuki Foundation, Green Party of Canada, and lots more exist in Canada, which is trying to save life in particular and Earth in general. They propagate and mobilize people with short slogans like "Caring for Earth is not a hippie thing; it is a survival thing." Our environment is life. Pollution is death. Furthermore, they do charity works which relate to the environment, such as planting trees, scavenging, etc., with aim of achieving the goals. Okay. So then that is pretty much for today, and I have 6 minutes left. 6 minutes left, so I'm gonna just speak with myself over the screen, or I can use the phone with the screen for learning the English. But then I'm not gonna do it later because I'm at my phone right now, so I just put it over there. And for now, do I have to read it again for one more time before I go down, or just get something to do? Get something to do. Okay, so for now, maybe I'm gonna just back up and yeah. I don't know what should I do now. I don't know what should I do right now. Like just sit here and talk with myself in front of the screen, recording myself's voice. Um, Recording my voice. I feel really exhausted, or it's not like bored, but how can I say that? Like I have 6 to 5 minutes left in the recording, but I don't know what to do right now. Like what can I do or what should I do? What should I do to use this time to use this 5 minutes wisely? Should I go to the Chatham High and do some tasks, or should I go to the video to listen to the 10 minutes video and then just turn off after the 5 minutes and then listen to 5 more minutes in the video? Okay, I don't think that is a good idea for me. Maybe I'm gonna talk with myself like this. I think about the what should I do for tomorrow. So tomorrow is a normal day. Tomorrow is let me check the timetable to make sure it is perfect. And anyway, I just want to make sure I just want to make sure everything is perfect. Wait, what? The books? Did she check it? I thought she did, right? So they gave me. I did copy this one down. Maybe you don't know. Over here. I did. So now I'm gonna go to download. What quick what master one, and now I'm gonna check. So today 18, tomorrow is 19. So 19. So I have 3. So period 2. Period 2 1 2. So 2 1. Okay, so 2 1 2. So I'm gonna be at school and learn the period 2 classes, which is about business. And so tomorrow, so I'm gonna have, okay, so it's Monday. I'm gonna have his her classes, her class, and tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna ask her about the so I'm gonna ask her about my stuff, which is about the assignment, which is about the cube, square, and powers, which is really hard stuff to do. I can solve the square and the cube, but I don't know how to do with the power. Okay, so it's pretty much easy and pretty good now. And think about the themes of the essay, so I'm gonna spend the whole morning to think about it, like reading books, spending time, and I'm gonna go downstairs at 9:30, to have better time to help them to take care of their daughter, or no, their new field. It's not their new field, bro. Their son. So the other time, so let's go up here and then do the assignment, ask me about this one, and then I'm gonna go to the main book of line. Actually, my full time is mostly about the essay, so I'm gonna deal with the math essay, and tomorrow I'm if it is in the if I have Miss Mario Dimitro in the afternoon, so I'd rather do the echoes, which is really hard stuff to do. But anyway, I'm gonna try my best to pass this one. And furthermore, what should I do right now? Like I have this paper to do it, but I don't need to pretty much. And furthermore, I'm gonna have like this paper for. Okay, so how can I say that? This paper, so I'm gonna use that for this paper, right? So I'm gonna use this paper for reading books or some stuff like that. I'm gonna spend 4 hours downloading, and I'm spending 8 hours downloading without doing anything. I can use that time for thinking about this one and solving the and solving the and solve the powers number the power numbers in the JavaScript. But anyway, maybe I'm gonna spend tomorrow to answer because of the situation. So I cannot think. So I cannot spend a lot of time on in coding. And so for the English, so I just some nothing about. So I'm gonna try my best to think about the teams of the teams of uh, the teams of the essay that I'm gonna write about. It is really hard, and it is really hard and challenge stuff to do. Anyway, I have a book, so I'm gonna spend. It's not like tonight. 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 I need to have 1 hour. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Making the YouTube video because I am having the copyright claim stuff. So maybe I'm gonna spend tomorrow to work on it. Okay, so this is pretty much. So this is pretty good stuff for now. And okay, anyway, so I'm gonna do the model group for those. Maybe I'm gonna use another one, or just do the original one. So go up here at 8 and then spend 1 hour for with the code or just do some other stuff. Maybe reading books. And I'm just gonna have 1 hour in the evening. So anyway, I can have my time. Okay, so that is the end of my video today, which is the 30 minutes speaking without stopping. Okay, so goodbye and have a good day. So turn off this one. I'm gonna turn off this one.